there, my name's Nicole, my pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest on traditional Coast Salish land, and I'm here to talk about my budget. This is something that I did for a long time. If you look back at my channels, there's lots of videos, but I haven't done it in a while, and there's a few reasons why. So this is an update and January 2025 budget plan. All right, so after the pandemic, I used to have two kitty cats, and during the pandemic, they both got diagnosed with some stuff going on. They were also not the youngest cats at the time, and so we had a season of our lives where they were getting older, they were dealing with a lot of health issues, and I decided it was my priority to take care of them and have them have the best possible last years of their life. And that took a lot of my money. So I'm really lucky that I was not in a position where I had to go into debt to take care of my pet's health needs. And I'm very thankful for that. But I did basically channel almost all of my expendable income to their care. I did actually look at the data and add it up, and it was a very intense number. I guess let me know if you're curious. But anyway, over the summer, the second of my two old kitties passed away. So I'm just now in a position, especially after having, spent some time grieving their lives and our very long time together, where I have suddenly what feels like a lot of expendable income. And so I thought I would start sharing how I'm budgeting that again. I'm really thankful for all of the skills that I learned, especially from other YouTubers, getting really into this and having all these amazing resources online. And I think that helped me be in the best possible position, even as I was channeling all of my income to one thing. And I'm excited to sort of get back into it now under these different circumstances. I don't know, I see this a lot, people talking about pet healthcare and what they would or wouldn't do. And for me, it was an honor and a privilege to be able to do literally everything that I could. And yeah, I love those little guys so much, and I miss them a lot. But I think that, this is life. We are in different positions, and we do the best with what we have. So I'd like to share with you what I have. Since last time I made a video about my budget, another major thing has changed, and that is that I got a new job. So I'm now working a job where I'm teaching full-time. I do have summers off, or if I choose to work summer, that is on top of my annual contract. So that's additional money, additional pay. And I do not get paid during the summer. We have a choice where we can either get paid a smaller amount throughout the year and then get paid a big chunk at the end, or a bigger chunk at the end, or we can just get paid the same amount throughout the school year. That's what I chose. So that I could basically make a summer fund. And again, for the last 2 summers, it's been a little bit more on the chaotic side because I was still caring for my cats. I was still spending a lot of money on them, which meant that I didn't have a great summer fund. So I'm interested to see what that's like this year. So let's get into the budget for January 2025. Make this a little smaller. Put me over here. Okay, so January 2025, I've still been able to budget in a way that I am spending the money that I made last month. I've stayed offset, even though not working summers may have allowed me to get off of that, because I did have 2 or 3 months with no pay at all. I decided it made the most sense to stay on that track. That way, if anything were ever to happen, if I were to suffer something that would keep me from working, or I would suffer sudden job loss, which I'm about to have 10 years, so hopefully that will not be happening anytime soon, I would still be a month ahead. Okay, so let's get into January 2025 budget. My base income, like I said, it's a little more every month because I don't get paid in the summer, is $5,484.29. Now, of course, this is not of course. This is my take-home pay. So this is all of my taxes and my retirement taken out. And I also have an additional, I think like $100 or $200 taken out for my 457B before I am paid. So I have money going to a pension and money going to a 457B before I get this number. I also have money going to a FSA, a flexible spending account for health stuff, which has been more important the last couple of years. And so yeah, that's what I'm left with. This year I was given a gift at Christmas time from my parents of $100, very sweet of them. And so I have just under $5,600 to budget. I am trying to ease back in to sharing a percentage of my income. And for right now, I'm going to be doing $100 per month. This is a very small percentage of my take home, but I am rebuilding things like my emergency fund and other areas of my life. So I want to be generous and put that generosity out into the world. But I also want to be sort of realistic about what feels kind of safe or comfy for me right now. So in the past, I had done more. If you go back and look at other videos, you could see that it's a higher percentage, and I did a 2% to art because spending money on art, other people's artwork, was a thing that I love to do anyway, and I considered it like an investment in my local economy, which I think was just a fun way of letting myself buy art. But anyway, we're going to do $100 per month. So right now, I'm going to land on my emergency fund, see how much I can stuff in there. Next month, as we go into savings, next month is just where I write down my paychecks so that I know the number for the following month. Savings, this is just an old account that my first bank account that had buckets, they don't exist anymore, but they did this funny thing where they would put all of your interest in one account, a separate account. And so I would track that. It was when this bank closed for $155.23. I've never added, but I've also never had to take from it. So I just let that hang out. And then the me account is where I put money that I specifically want to spend on me. And I often will put things like gift money for my birthday or Christmas in here. I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with that Christmas money though. Okay, I have a Roth IRA. There was a point when I was still making videos where I was maxing that every year for a couple of years. I have not been able to do that. So I decided I'm able to, I'm in a position where I can start with $100 a month. And once I have my emergency fund and my summer fund built up, likely I can add more to that, but we're going to start with $100 a month. And I've been doing that for a few months, so this won't be the first month. Rent, my rent has gone up in recent years. It's $1,300. My electricity has also gone up a little bit just because I live in kind of an interesting, old house with kind of an interesting, unique situation. My phone has gone up quite a bit recently. It used to be $65. And now it's $104. I'm working on getting to a place where I can bring that number down. And then my internet has, I'm not sure if it would be considered up or down. Since I last made videos, it had gone up considerably. And then recently I changed things up. So I brought it back down to 71. Still kind of expensive in my opinion. All right. So, $1,300 for rent. I'm saying $135 for electricity. This is really different throughout the year. And so $135 is my highest number, and I'm usually under that. That's always the goal. My phone is about $104. Internet is about $71. Grocery store and restaurants, I've just mashed this into one because I just have had, I used to in the past be super good at meal prepping, and I have for various reasons, including like an injury to my hand, not been doing a lot as much like extensive cooking as I've done in the past, the last several months. So I'm going to make that 500. If I'm being honest, I do typically spend more than that, but my goal is to get that back down. I think I used to have that section be like 3 or maybe 400. So I'm just trying to be realistic and see if we can tighten that up as the year goes on. Household, this is for things. Oftentimes I don't really separate household things, but this would be like for when the neighbor cuts the lawn and we pay him or something like that. All right, gas. I now, at my new job, commute. I used to use very little gas in the past, but now I commute about 60 miles a day. Not the worst commute, not the best. And so $300 is, I hope, always going to be the most I would ever spend on gas, and I hope I'll always spend a little less every month. Car registration, I just send $10 a month to that, so I'm ready when the time comes, and that just actually happened in November. Driver's license renewal. I don't have anything go into that right now, but maybe I need to get a new ID, so that's something I need to look into, or whatever they're called, a real ID, whatever they're called. Personal spending, entertainment. I've decided to get Spotify for a little while. I really held out, but honestly, you can't even listen to music on free Spotify anymore. So I am going to try it out. I did get a promotion, so $5.99 for 2 months. I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. I always give myself, if I can, $100 for fun because, like, I'm not trying to torture myself. Auto insurance is about $150. I do have a car right now that I bought and had to take a small loan on. And initially my goal had been to pay that loan off as quickly as possible. But as previously talked about, my cats meant that wasn't an option. So one of my goals for the year this year is to pay off that remainder of the loan. And when that happens, I'll actually be able to pay a lot less for insurance because it won't have a loan associated with it. Renter's insurance, I also do $10 a month towards that. Accountant, I don't really do anything to. Now, sinking funds are not a thing that I've been using very much the last few years under the circumstances. And so I would like to get back into that. But for right now, I just kind of use them as like those categories, if that makes sense. So health fund, the things I'm doing right now that cost money for my health are, well, I do have a couple of prescriptions that I occasionally need to refill. But the main things are I'm taking tap dance classes and I am using the YMCA. And so that's probably less than 200, but I just decided to make that 200 for this month and figure it out as I go along. And then as far as the other things, cat fund, I don't have cat pets anymore, but I'm just not ready to take it off the list. Car and upkeep, I should start adding to that. So maybe we'll do $50 this month. I just got an oil change in December, so I shouldn't need anything for a while, but it would be good to start rebuilding that. And then tech fund, gifts, winter coat / clothing. I have some numbers next to what I would like these things to be. But for right now, I'm not going to get too into it. I don't have any upcoming travel planned. And the other things are kind of random. Let's see. Important stuff. I don't know. I used to use that when I had more of a sinking fund situation happening. I think that's sort of like could go away now. And so I'll get rid of that. Delete item. Down payment, yeah, that's kind of a pipe dream at the moment, but we'll see. I'm going to leave it. Serotonin boost, I don't know. I think I'm going to get rid of that, like I think it was cool, but I do have a fun budget. And then education, typically if I'm doing any kind of education or professional development, I'm using my business account to pay for that. So I do have a small ceramics business still. Or if it's professional development, I'm requesting funds for that from my job. So I'm going to take that away as well. All right. And then now, last but not least, debts. And car. So my car, it says it's out of date, but this is pretty accurate. I think I owe like $4,000 on it. So again, one of my goals is to pay that off this year. Student loans, they're kind of weird because I participate in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, but right now I'm enrolled in the SAVE payment plan, and that payment plan is being challenged, and there is a court case going on about it. So I am in hold right now. I'm so close to having student loan forgiveness. But right now, those payments are on hold, and they do not, unlike all the payments during the pandemic, etc., they do not count towards public service loan forgiveness. So I'm waiting for that to get figured out so that I can ask to buy back and be very close within the year of getting my loans forgiven. But right now there is zero payment. My car is $137.37 a month. I had a really good interest rate, and I took the lowest payment, and that was really helpful for what was to come in terms of paying a lot of money to keep my cats healthy. And so now I'm hoping to put more towards that each month to pay that down. Okay, so with that all set up, I still have $179.48 to budget. And part of that is this $100 towards gifts. So you know what? I think I'm going to say, like, let's put $150 towards my car. Whoa, this is just happening in real time here. So that would be $187.37. Wait, $287.37. Is that right? Yeah, $287.37. And I'm going to put the rest into my emergency fund. So this will be $21.29.48. $21.29.48. So it's an every dollar budget, and I will be back weekly maybe to show you what I spend, and then I'll be back at the end of the month to reconcile this budget. Anyway, for anyone who's been around from the beginning, I hope you enjoyed that update. If you're just seeing this video for the first time, I hope you'll join me in getting things tightened back up, getting things back in order after a big sort of hard event, financially speaking. All right, well, great. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and Happy New Year.